Yes, welcome to the Biz Communication Show. I'm your host, Bill Lampton, the Biz Communication Guy. You and I know that strong communication skills are vital to succeed in your business. Strong communication skills boost your management, your teamwork, your customer service, your sales, and yes, your profits. That's why every week on the Biz Communication Show, I bring you a recognized business communication expert so that what you hear and what I hear from them in our conversation will help you strengthen your business. Very delighted today to welcome someone that I've worked with before, both in his studio and on Zoom, Scott Williford. Let me tell you a little bit about Scott. Scott is the founder and CEO of V-Link Solutions in Marietta, Georgia, in the Atlanta area. He helps businesses and professionals use video to enhance their online brand. He creates videos, he helps manage and distribute them. He helps clients produce video blogs, profiles, product demos, and customer stories. He's also a highly respected consultant and an active volunteer. Delightful and privileged to welcome today Scott Williford. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Bill. Nice to see you virtually. It's good to hear your voice as usual and also see you via Zoom.
And the same to you, my friend. One question to begin with. I think of you, as I do of several leading people, as a pioneer, because when the internet came along and video especially became available, you were one of those who saw the possibilities. How and why did that happen?
Well, it's kind of interesting. So I grew up technology savvy. I was always in the technology space, and this crazy thing called the World Wide Web came about. And so I was engaged in what was going on with that. And I kind of accidentally ended up in the video marketing and the online video space. I exited a company and then was doing consulting and helping companies figure out what their next move was. And when they met an inflection point, whether it was to raise money, to create new products, or in some cases it was around marketing. And so I had a client that wanted video, and I went out and hired a video contractor to produce some video. And when it was all done, he handed me a thumb drive and a pretty large invoice. And I said, why did it cost so much? And then what do I do with the video? And his response when I asked, what do I do with the video, was, I don't know, put it on YouTube. And I said, there's got to be a better answer than that, because creating the video is really only the first step in effective video marketing or online video marketing, whether it's training or other types of content. You have to figure out, how are you going to distribute that video? What platforms are you going to distribute it on? And how are you going to drive engagement? How are you going to get people to actually see it and watch it? And so I like to say that from the very beginning, we wanted to answer the question of, what do I do with the video now? And we set out to do that, and we're doing it.
So in a sense, the old saying, there was a felt need, and you found a way to meet that need, and then that was the start of your company?
Absolutely, absolutely. We realized there was for ourselves and for what we were trying to do at that time with that particular client. That was back in 2009, Bill, and it took me another 2 years before we actually launched V-Link Solutions, because I wanted to figure out what was the business model. And since then, we've kind of looked at the sandbox, if you will, of video and video marketing. And it started out that all we did was what I would call talking head blog post type videos. And then very quickly we moved into more types of live action and dramatic live action video. And now today we do animations and live events, live streaming. We do The combinations of those, motion graphics, visual effects. We've done some pretty high-end stuff for companies like Google and FleetCor and AGCO, but we've also done stuff for folks like Gary, who's a personal friend of mine, who's a wealth manager, and we helped him create a series of training videos. So we felt the need, we saw the marketplace, and we've morphed and pivoted a few times and continue to do so even today. We have some stuff going on right now that's pretty exciting.
It's interesting. I think we could say that possibly you learned what to do almost, and I'm wondering, by watching what commercials do, because commercials don't just have a talking head. There's a change of scenery about probably every second and a half. Things are moving, nothing's static. There's color, there's sound, there's music, there's excitement, and plenty goes on in 30 seconds. Anybody who thinks back to the beginning of television and when it became popular, uh, even commercials have changed tremendously to keep and hold attention.
Oh, absolutely. And what we tell our clients is that the longer the content, uh, the more, the higher the production value, the more you have to use different tricks and techniques uh, by changing camera angles, by adding B footage, by adding graphics. Essentially, as you said, television, it's every 3 to 5 seconds, they're changing something. And we don't always do that in the productions that we do because of cost. Uh, but again, the higher the production value, the longer form you can make it. And long form, by the way, means it's over 90 seconds. So the average video that we see we still recommend every client never go over 2 minutes. There are places for that. There are places like this where there's engagement and there's conversation where you can extend that. But for a large portion of what we do, 90% of what we do, we say 2 minutes is too long and 90 seconds is better. And so statistically, 87 seconds is actually, based on the thousands of videos that we host on our own video marketing platform, 87 seconds is the average viewership. And so we always tell clients, let's target 87 seconds.
That's very valuable information, because there are many people who are listening, maybe who even produce their own videos. And we do need to recognize how attention spans have diminished. I know if we look, for example, at sound bites on television with interviews from maybe 20, 25 years ago, a sound bite might go 3 or 4 minutes. Probably what now, 15 to 25, 30 seconds maybe?
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. I think that uh, there's so much stuff coming at us now that bite size and snackable pieces of content is really where people are focusing and spending their time on now. And it requires the communicator, going back to what you do, it requires the communicator to be on point. They have to understand their message, their story, and deliver it very concisely, using plain language as quickly as possible, whether it's live content or it's produced content or it's animation or it's live action. It's all the same.
That reminds me of something I noticed recently, and that is on the voicemails that you connect with when you call people. Many times I would like to advise those people, would you just get to the point? Because sometimes their voicemail tells you their location, their hours of service, and so many other things that, and they may throw a little commercial plug in there. And really, you just want to connect with somebody. So I think that reflects exactly what you're talking about. But to me, if we accomplished nothing else today, but we are going to accomplish more, but maybe the most vital point is brevity, get to the point, say it quickly, be lively with it, be energetic, have variety. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. It's funny. Voicemail is a great tool, and my generation, our generation, that was a new thing for us. Used to be the answer machines, but then you had your individual voicemail. And I think that that same trend is coming on with video. People are creating their own independent channels like this one and like others, where they're creating content for folks, but they still have to follow those same rules. It's got to be brief and to the point, and concise, entertaining. Use humor when you can. Use emotion when appropriate. It's nothing wrong with getting somebody to think a second. We like to say that you want more play for your video and more pause, like hitting the pause button on your message. So I want my video to get played, but I really want them to remember the message. And in fact, we have a process that we help our clients think about. How do we create more pause in our communications? And how do we create more pause in our messaging? And it's a storyboarding and brainstorming exercise of really trying to listen to the client. And that's the other thing. It's like, you've done an excellent job, Bill, of knowing who your audience is, and you bring guests on your show that are relevant for your audience. Whereas if you brought people that didn't have anything to contribute to the folks that are listening and watching, then they would stop listening and watching. Businesses need to remember the same thing. Quit talking about yourself and talk about what your customer needs and what your customer or your audience wants to know. What's going to resonate with your audience is what you need to focus on.
And be other-centered.
Yes, absolutely. I like that, other-centered.
I would like to explore, in reading over some of your company material, you had some percentages where you talk about the real impact that video has with websites or emails or blogs or whatever we're doing. The impact that video has with those versus what it would be like without them. I'm not asking for exact percentages if you can't remember them, but give us an overview of that, please.
Well, so one of the things that we tell folks is that number one is video can totally increase your engagement with your audience in general, because it's a more engaging medium. We are made as human beings for face-to-face communication. We did nothing but face-to-face communications for millennia. And so our entire makeup is for that. Enter the printing press and enter other things, and we kind of shifted to the printed word. But the reality is we still needed that face-to-face communication. And now that we have the internet and we have the ability to create quality video like what we're doing now, it's available to everyone. Some statistics, in the time that you and I are talking, there will be more videos uploaded to YouTube, enough video content uploaded to YouTube, that it would take us 2.5 years of nothing but staring at the computer screen to watch it all.
That's amazing.
That's much
amazing.
Content is going up. It's something like 400 hours a minute of content, 400 to 600 hours. I may be off on the stat. In the last 60 days, there's been more content uploaded to the internet, not just YouTube, but all the platforms, than any of the major TV networks, or all of them combined, have produced in the last 60 years. Now put your head around that. There's more stuff going online in every 60 days than there was in the prior 60 years on television. So it is absolutely exploding. Talking about engagement, click-through rates, when you include a thumbnail or an animated GIF image in an email that clicks to a video, the click-through rates are sometimes 3 to 5 to even 600 times higher than you would get if you just sent a regular text with a link. SEO, when you put video on your SEO on your web page and it's properly tagged, by the way, that's something that you have to know what to do to get it properly tagged, so that Google and Bing and Yahoo know there's a video there. But once that video is recognized as content there, then that will increase your likelihood of getting higher ranking on the first page of ranking. Not to mention, if you do it right, you'll be ranked on the video channels as well: YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. So there's a lot to it, and it is a growing trend. You know, we recognized early on that email marketing in its beginning stages, you know, was rare. Today it's almost overused. Uh, but video marketing is moving in the same direction, that more and more people are embracing it, which really is why you've got to create good content. Because if more and more people are doing it, then how do you make sure your content is the most engaging? And you got to focus on how do I make sure that my video is quality and engaging and keeps my audience's attention.
It reminds me too of how popular FaceTime phone calls have become. We like to see each other there as well, don't we?
Yeah, it's funny. I have a 88-year-old mother who I bought her an Echo Show, which is an Alexa product, so that we could communicate video conferencing like we are right now.
Hmm.
And that way, even though we can't see her every day in person, at any time we want to, we can just, I can take up my iPhone or my computer and I can call that Echo Show, and she knows just to answer it. She's bright enough to be able to do that. And she always says, "Who ever dreamed this up? This is amazing." And then she gives some person that doesn't have anything to do with it credit, but it's really interesting. My children, we FaceTime with them regularly to see our grandchildren and to see what's going on in their world, and it's the way they communicate, is all video calling, FaceTime and Google's product Duo. I'm an Android user, so I can't FaceTime. I have to use Duo, which I actually think is a better product because it'll work on every platform, but I'm a little biased.
Well, it's amazing to think what has happened since 1996. I can remember so well the first time I ever saw the internet. In fact, the first time I got it on my own computer, I remember so well. Usually I go to bed about 10 o'clock, 10:15 maybe. I looked at the watch and it was 12 o'clock. Why? Because all of a sudden here was this incredible breadth of information. I remember what amazed me most. I saw one link. It said, "Click here and get the entire works of William Shakespeare."
It's we've come a long way, haven't we, Bill?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, you
Time
remember
for.
Encyclopedia Britannicas?
I don't think I'll sell those anymore. No.
Yeah, I think you were talking about ties, how, the tie guys, I'm wearing a tie today because I have an event tonight. I'm usually in blue jeans and a golf shirt, but because I have a special event, and I was going to be on your show, Bill. I dressed up. But, it's true. There's a lot of stuff that we rely only on the internet for now and the World Wide Web for now. But I will tell you that marketers in particular are seeing a comeback of printed material because it's so unique. It's novelty now.
If somebody gets a letter, a printed letter, or if they get a handwritten letter, especially,
Even
that's
better.
that's
Absolutely.
unique and it's different and it's much more personal. One final question, and then we have to go. Just give us a quick overview of what happens when a client comes to you. You help them produce a video, and then you help them track the results, the impact. That's my understanding. Is that right?
Yeah, so we consider ourselves a video marketing agency or a video agency. And the difference from an agency model and just a production model is that we really want to help our clients craft their message, understand their audience. We do a step we call ideation, where we come up with new ideas of content. Then we think about the strategy. How are we going to leverage this content? And then we produce the video. But once the video is completed, then we have our own video marketing platform that helps them, that hosts the video, helps them manage the distribution of that video, and then track the analytics. And the value of that, whether it's our platform or Wistia or Vidyard or one of the other ones that are out there, the value of that is, did the content resonate with your audience? Did the people that I wanted to watch it to the link that I wanted them to? And then you can either improve on the next round of ideas or change the next round of ideas. And so it's really cyclical. And production is only one of those 6 steps. And that's pretty unique in us. Video is very complicated. It can be very costly. And what we've tried to do is to build a system and a model that eliminates the complication and lowers the cost. Today, we produce anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 videos a year out of our 2 studios. And I'm excited to say, Bill, and this is one of the first times we've said this in a public environment. We have recently completed our franchise disclosure document so that we can take our business model and go into other markets and go to franchisees in other markets and help grow our business. And I'm pretty excited. It's a shift a little bit for us, but at the end of the day, if you're going to do video, at some point, somebody's got to get in front of a camera, and not everybody's going to come to Marietta. So if we can have them go to a location in Orlando or Charlotte or Nashville or Gainesville, that would be a good thing.
This is terrific. This is terrific. I know that those who've listened to our conversation will want to get in touch with you and learn more about V-Link Solutions and see how your services can benefit them. So please give us your contact information.
So it's vlinksolutions.com or thevideomarketingauthority.com. My email address is S. Williford. My name is Scott Williford, but it's S. Williford. That's WILLIFORD at V-Link Solutions. And, or you can just send it to info@VLink Solutions. That'll make its way to me as well.
Thank you. And now that you've given your contact information, I'm happy to share mine. Biz Communication Guy. So logically, my website is bizcommunicationguy.com. I invite you to go there, check my services for corporations and leaders. Would love to talk with you, 678-316-4300. Scott, again, what a pleasure to have you with us. So enlightening, great information. We're going to have to talk again because we just have begun to scratch the surface of what you do. So any closing thoughts for our viewers and listeners?
I would say that if you're not doing video yet, you need to be. And I would also say that if you've been doing it, look at ways that you can improve the quality of what you're doing. There are so many new cameras and tools and microphones and lighting that with very, while we want to do it for you, and there are firms like us that do it, you as an individual, if you're doing it on your own, and Bill, I think you're exactly that way. Your game is stepped up every time I see you.
Thank you.
So invest in it. It's going to help make a difference in your career and in your business.
My game stepped up when I hosted you today.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks to all of you who have joined us for our conversation on the Biz Communication Show. We invite you to be with us again next week. I'm Bill Lampton, the Biz Communication Guy.